random variables, the discrete and the continuous random variables. And we also tackle about the binomial distribution, which is an example of discrete distribution. No? So a binomial distribution can only be used if your random variable is discrete. The second one is your experiment has only two possible outcomes, and the experiment you are taking has multiple trials. Okay, so for today, I will be discussing to you about normal distribution. So let me share my screen. Okay, so I will introduce to you the normal distribution, which is actually an example of continuous distribution. No? So there are many actually distributions in literature. So ang pinaka gamit lang is itong normal distribution. No? So because normal distribution actually is one of the foundations sa mga statistical analysis, no, that we will also tackle later doon sa data analysis. Okay, so recall the two properties of the probability distribution, specifically doon sa discrete probability distribution, no. So if you if you remember yung tawag natin sa function sa discrete probability distribution is yung probability mass function. Okay? So ito yung properties. So the first property is obviously the probability of any value must be non-negative. So the probability of the value of a random variable is non-negative, and the sum of the probabilities of every outcome in a sample space must be equal to 1. So if you sum up all the possibilities, no, or probabilities of every outcome, no, in the sample space, should be equal to 1. So actually sa continuous random variable, almost the same, actually similar lang yung definitions nun sa continuous, itong definition na to doon sa continuous. Ang kaibahan lang is, of course, since it is discrete, you take the sum. Pag doon sa continuous, it should be the total area, no, under the curve, who is equal to 1, which is equal to 1 dapat yung total area under the curve. So yan yung kaibahan lang. So actually yung total area naman actually is just the sum of the areas, no, when you divide the 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 region under the curve. So you can take the sum of the areas, so it should be also equal to 1, since actually it is a probability. And there are various types of continuous distribution, but the most important is the normal distribution. Again, as I've said earlier, it is important because it is the foundation of the statistical analysis that later on we will discuss. No? So it is sometimes called in literature, no, as the Gaussian distribution. No? So in honor of Gauss, who is one of the mathematicians who derived its equation. So si Gauss ang nag-derive ani. So the graph of the normal distribution is a bell-shaped curve that extends asymptotically to the horizontal axis in both directions. Okay? So ito yung graph ng normal distribution. So again, it extends to the right, to the left, assuming ito yung x-axis natin, but it will not touch the x-axis kasi nga it is asymptotic, no? Asymptotic. So it will go nearer and nearer to x-axis, but it will not touch the x-axis. So from the left to the left and to the right, no? And as you can see, yung normal distribution, ang graph niya is actually a bell-shaped curve, no? It's a bell-shaped curve. So, by the way, it is also the normal distribution is also symmetric. So, if you divide it in half, no? Hindi ko lang ma-half ito ng maigi. So, in short, kung yung area niya dito is equal sa area niya dito, that is symmetry, no? So, the same lang yung forma niya. Para siyang may mirror sa kabila, no? So, that is symmetric. Okay, so the mathematical equation of the distribution function of the normal variable random variable x depends on the two parameters, which is the mean is mu and the variance is sigma square, no? Doon sa binomial, kung if you remember, no? Sa binomial, yung mean niya is n times the probability of, yung n is the number of trials, no? Times the probability of success. Tapos yung variance niya is the number of trials, that is n, times the probability of success times the probability of failure. So NPQ. So dito sa as a normal distribution, yung mean niya is yung parameter na mu at saka yung variance niya is yung sigma square, no? So actually ito yun, no? Kung makita nyo yung mathematical equation ng normal distribution, so yung mean at saka yung sigma are the parameters of the normal distribution. So merong mean yung mu at sigma. They are parameters and they are also the mean and the standard deviation respectively. Okay. So the distribution of the random variable x usually denoted by this one, no? Usually binabasa to na x follows the normal distribution with mean mu and the standard and the variance sigma square. Okay? So yun yung sometimes binabasa nila. Okay, so the normal distribution function of the random variable x is given by this equation. Of course, yung value ng x natin is mag-extend from negative to positive infinity, no? So any values as long as it is in the real number line. And as you can see, no, it is in terms of exponential function, yung normal distribution natin. Pero yung graph niya, hindi siya yung exponential function na parang ganito, no? Parang usually yung normal yung the usual exponential function na makikita natin is ganito yung graph, no? Increasing, negative, decreasing. Pero sa case ng normal distribution, para siyang bell-shaped curve, no? Yung graph niya. So meaning if the random variable x is normally distributed, the probability of x is denoted by this one, the p of x, and can be computed using the probability formula shown above. So you can compute. For the special case, that is when the mean is 0 and the variance is 1, the distribution in the previous equation is now called the standard normal distribution. So kung ile-let natin na yung mu dito is equal to 0 at tapos yung variance natin, yung standard deviation is 1, no? Anyway, kung variance is 1, so taking the square root, that will be the standard deviation 1 pa rin, yo? Kasi yung square root ng 1 is 1. So, meron tayong ganito, normal distribution, standard normal distribution. Yung mean is 0, tapos yung standard variance is 1. In this case, the random variable x is replaced by the standard normal variable z. So, instead na x, z na yon yung gagamitin natin, no? Kasi standard normal na siya eh. And that is when the mean is 0 and the variance is equals to 1. We use z instead of x, meaning that z follows in standard normal distribution, no? Or pwede mo ring sabihin na z follows or z is normally distributed with mean equal to 0 and variance equals to 1. Pero again, pwede ring z follows standard normal distribution. Kasi pag sinabi nating standard normal distribution by definition itself, yung mean natin is 0 at saka yung standard deviation natin is 1. So ito na yon, no? Pag isa-substitute natin yung mu na equal to 1 at saka 0 at tapos yung sigma square equal to 1 or the sigma is equals to 1. So take note that the function above is simplified version of the one shown in the slide 5. So ito, no, simplified version. Kasi ito yung normal distribution, tapos ito yung standard normal distribution. So what are the properties of the normal distribution? So it is symmetric with respect to vertical axis. So ito yung vertical axis na sinasabi ko kanina. So symmetric siya kasi kung ano yung makikita mo dito sa left part is yun rin yung makikita mo sa right part. Parang mirror lang, no? And yung mean natin sa normal distribution is nandito sa nandito sa center. Of course, kasali na din yung median at saka yung mode. So, pag yung data natin, kinumpute mo yung mean, median, at saka yung mode, almost the same yung value nila, yung mean, median, at mode. So someone can say that, the our data is approximately, so approximately lang term, no? Kasi hindi naman perfectly normally distributed. So sasabihin nila, yung data natin is approximately normally distributed. So the tails are asymptotic. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung tails. So they are asymptotic. They will never touch the x-axis or the horizontal line. And the total area under the normal curve and above the horizontal axis is equal to 1. So the area here, no, itong mga area, yung area na to, so yung region na to, ang area na to ng region na ito is must be equal to 1. Kasi this is a probability function, no? So naalala nyo kanina pag discrete, ang tawag natin sa function is probability mass function. Dito sa continuous, ang tawag natin sa probability function is the probability density function, no? Hindi na probability mass function kundi density function na, no, ang tawag natin. So the area under the probability distribution curve between 2 points represents the probability of a certain event. So in a normal distribution, the probability of an event can be represented graphically by a shaded region as shown below. So ito yun, no? So para makuha natin yung area niya, actually yung area niya is actually the probability, no? So yung region natin is bounded by upper bound which is yung B, tsaka yung lower bound is yung A. So yung probability that the the random variable, no, is in between these two values A and B, no? So ito 'yon is equal to the area of this region, no, itong area na ito. So the region is equal to the probability of that event. So when finding the area of the probability that the random variable x falls below or above or between certain values, that is ito yon, no? So falls equal to okay, tama, no? Below or pwede rin above or in between. So ito yung in between. So the computation can be done using the probability formula shown in this slide. No, ito. So gagamit lang tayo ng function na ito. Pero again, it is very yung function na it's complicated. So the computation is complicated and difficult kasi iba't iba yung function natin dito. Meron tayong exponential. Tama, exponential lang pala, hindi siya iba't iba. So exponential but it's complicated kasi mayroong fractions sa exponent pero may fraction doon sa base, no? So to simplify the process of finding the probability, the given values of x are first transformed into their standard form z. So once standardized, the probability can be easily obtained from the standard normal table where the corresponding areas have already been computed and tabulated. So the probability that z is between two values, say for instance z1 and z2, so is equal to the area under the curve above the horizontal axis and between the perpendicular line, no? So yung perpendicular vertical line yung sabi niya actually, perpendicular meaning perpendicular sa horizontal axis. So dapat in between sa Z1 or Z2. So kung ito yung normal table natin, tapos ito yung x-axis, nandito yung Z1, nandito yung Z sub 2. So yung probability of getting Z in between these two values, Z1 and Z2, is just the area between this curve, no? And to get that area actually, you have to do integration, advanced mathematics, but again, we cannot do that because you are first year or maybe second year, and it needs a lot of calculus subject. So para makasabay kayo, so gagamit na lang tayo ng tinatawag natin na z-table. Okay? So ang mga formula na ito are very useful uh, in finding the area between the curves using the z-table. Okay? So let's remember this formula. So again, madali lang man. So say for instance ito sa less than equal to z sub 0. So kung meron siyang equal or wala siyang equal to dito, the same lang yung probability niya. Likewise, pag greater than, so pag may equal at saka walang equal to, so the same din lang. Pwede rin sa in between, no? So pwede walang equal to. Pwede rin merong equal to. And by symmetry, no, according to the symmetry property, 'di ba? Symmetric yung normal distribution natin. So yung probability ng z greater than or equal to z sub 0 is just equal to probability of z less than. So hindi na siya greater than, less than, pero yung z sub 0 mo is magne-negative na, no? So you take note of that formula kasi importante yan doon sa uh, pag-compute ng probability sa standard normal table. Also, yung complementary na probability, no? So say for instance, meron tayo nito. Ito yung z sub 0. Okay? So, yung area na to is yung probability that z is less than z sub 0. No? So, less than. So, of course, nasa left yung area natin. Okay? So, para makuha mo yung area to the right of z sub 0, so dito, para makuha mo yung area dito, ang gagawin mo lang is yung area as a whole, yung area ng hole na ito, ng curve, under the curve rather, ima-minus mo yung area doon sa left, which is ito, para makuha mo yung area sa right. Ito, no? Yung area ng right. So, 1 minus. So, actually, the same lang din yan doon sa discussion natin about complementary events, no? Yung events. And para makuha natin yung area between two values, say for instance z1 and we have z sub 2. So para makuha natin yung area na to, ang gagawin lang natin is kunin lang natin yung area dito sa left of z sub 1, tapos tapos yung value nito ima-minus natin sa area to the left of z sub 2. So pag ima-minus mo yan, so mawawala tong area na ito, ang matitira na lang is itong area na ito, no? Yung area na yan, or region rather. So isa-subtract mo lang, no? Okay? So ito yung standard normal table, no? Itong dalawa na ito. So i-memorize nyo yan, pero joke lang. Actually, magdadala kayo ng standard normal table, no? So the tables on the left are the standard normal tables, also called the z-table. And the values of z in the table usually range from negative 3.6 to positive 3.69. And the first column lists the whole number. So ito yung first column na to is the whole number, no? And the first decimal place. So 0.1, 0.2, 1.1, 1.2. So first whole number and the first decimal place. While yung first row, yung first row is shows the second decimal place, no? Second decimal place. So by the way, meron akong ibibigay na book, itong Walpole na book. So nasa Appendix A, makikita nyo doon ang normal curve, no? Ito yung normal curve. Okay, so uh, i-download nyo lang to, yung Walpole, tapos punta kayo sa Appendix A, tapos i-scan nyo sa under Appendix A, maraming statistical table dyan. So hanapin nyo yung yung areas under normal curve. Meron ding mga copies nito sa Google, pero take note, no, ang table na ito is yung area less than or to the left, from the left of Z rather, no? Area from the left of Z. So in short, yung sa pinakita kong standard normal distribution table kanina is yung area dito, yung sa shaded region, yung hinahanap natin diyan. Yung makukuha nating value diyan. Okay, so the values inside the table represent the probabilities that the standard normal variable z is less than a given value z. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung nasa left ng z, small z. So you can directly use the probability shown in the table. So however, if the problem asks the probability of z greater than small z, subtract the corresponding table value from 1. So ito lang yung gagamitin mo, no? So yung complementary probability. Okay, so similarly, if the problem involved the probability between two values, it's values, such as this one, probability of z in between z1 and z2, you can find it by subtracting the smaller cumulative area from the large one. So itong area from the left of Z2, yung mas bigger na number minus the area na mas less na number. So these steps allows us to find the probability of any range of Z values without performing the difficult computation of the normal distribution. Kasi actually ay yung process kung gagamit kayo ng formula ng normal distribution, gagamit kayo ng integration from Z1 to Z2, no? Tapos yung PDF ng normal distribution, probability density function, then i-integrate mo siya with respect to x. Pero hindi natin gagawin yan dito, no? Ang gagamitin lang natin is yung table. So let's have an example. So let z be a standard normal random variable, and using the z table, find the probability that z is less than or equal to 2.4. So take note, yung table natin is less than, yung less than. So, ito hindi ka na maggagawa ng 1 minus something. So, directly you can compute you can see the area, no, or the probability. So, saan yung 2.4? So, yung 2.4 is kukunin mo muna yung 2.4 doon sa first column. So, dito sa first column, hanapin mo yung 2.4 and it shows it's here. Okay? And yung next na value ng 2.4 is 0. So, that means dito ka sa first na column. No? Second column rather. Sa 0, 0. No? So, i-match mo lang yan. So, that means yung probability is 0.9918. No? So, ito yon. Okay, so let's have, I think, more example. So, ito, greater than 2.72. Negative, rather, 2.72. So, take note, yung sa z-table, yung area to the left yung pinapakita. So, ito, greater than sa negative 2.72, it means that yung area na kukuhanan natin is yung nasa right ng negative 2.72. So if ito yung 2.72, then kukunin natin ang area nito para ma-solve ang probability na ito. Okay? So gagamit tayo ng complementary na formula, no, which is yung 1 minus the area in the left, no? So 1 minus the area in the left. So ano yung area ng left? So nandito yan sa z-table. So try natin dito sa z-table. Negative 2.72 yun, no? So, teka lang. So, negative 2.7. So, ito yon, negative 2.7. Tapos, 72 yon. So, that means, sa 0.2 tayo mag-stop dito. Sa 0.2. So, ito yon, yung value. 0.0033. No? So, it's 0.0033. So, tingnan natin, no? So, ito yon, 0.0033. Okay? So, we have 1 minus 0.0033. So, meron tayong 0.9967. Itong 0.9967, ito yung area dito ha. Hindi ito, no? Hindi yan. Kasi nasa right dapat. Kasi greater than yung gamit niya. Okay, so how about if yung values is yung z is in between the two values. So again, yung formula nagsasuggest na ang gagawin mo is yung probability ng z, no? Z less than or equal to 1.64 minus probability of z less than or equal to negative 0.20, no? So, yung z na nasa right minus yung probability ng z na nasa left. So, ito yung formula na ito. So, kukunin mo lang yung probability or yung area ng z ng function less than or nasa left ng 1.64. So, tingnan natin, dapat hanapin muna natin yung 1.6, then tsaka yung 0.04. So, 1.6 muna. Tingnan natin. Naglalag na siya. So, ano nga yung number na yon? 1.64. Okay? So, balik tayo. So, ito yung 1.6. Hindi siya, wait lang muna ha. Okay, ito yung 1.6. Tapos, yung 0.04, hanapin natin sa taas kung saang column yon. So, mainit na yung laptop. So, anyway, bibilangin ko na lang. 0, 1, oops, nawala na. Ito na. So, 0, 4. So, ito yon. Titrace ko muna. Tapos, ito. So, that means yung value is 0.9495. No? So, ito, 9495. Kita nyo, 9495 yung ito. Tapos, same lang din naman yung gagawin mo pag yung negative 0.2. No? So, ang gagawin mo lang is hanapin mo yung negative 0.2 sa first column. Tapos, hanapin mo yung 0, 0 sa second column. No? Doon sa second column yun. So, ima-match mo lang yan. So, meron siyang 0.4207. And if you subtract that, you have 0.5288. So, yan yung probability that the z lies in between negative 0.2 to 1.64. Okay? So, let's have another example. So, find the value k if yung k natin, yung probability ng z is less than k is equal to 0.8461. So anong value, anong z nga value ito, yung k na may area na 0.8461. So pabaliktad. So to find the value of k such that the probability of z less than this value is 0.8461, you should note that the z table gives you only less than probabilities. Hence, look through the z table and find the values equal to or closest to 0.8461. So, dito, makikita mo lang naman dito yung pattern 8461 sa z table. So, naglalag pa yung computer. Wait lang muna. Okay, so talagang naglalag siya. So, nawala yung presentation. So, i-open ko muna saglit lang. Exit. Tsaka yung Walpole. Recent Windows. Okay, so ito yung Walpole. Yung given natin is, teka lang, yung K. Okay, so hahanapin natin sa table yung 0.8461, no? Hahanapin natin sa table itong 0.8461. So itong value na ito, hahanapin natin dito sa ating Z table. So Appendix A. Tapos hanapin lang natin yung normal. Okay, so 0.84, 0.4 man to. So maybe nasa second page. Ano yun? 8461. So 84, ito, nandito yung 8461. So i-zoom ko lang. 0.8461. So that will be 1.02. No? 1.02. So, yung first decimal is 0 kasi, yung second is decimal is 2. So, 1.02. So that means yung K natin is 1.02. So again, you can use the value closest, no? Kung hindi siya kung hindi siya mag-i-equal talaga, so find the value that is closest to this value 8461, no? Okay, so wala akong ginagawa, nagsusulat siya. Okay, so next slide. So how about 0.187? So ano yung value ng K natin? So note that the Z table gives you only this less than probabilities. Again, palit ulit yan. And hence, look through the Z table and find the value equal or closest to 0.187. Then determine the row and column that corresponds to these value rather. This is now your K, and note that you cannot find probability exactly equal to 0.187. So actually kung pupunta ka dito sa Z table, hindi mo talaga makikita yung 0.187. So ano yun? 0.187. So balik tayo, 0.187. 0.18. So nakita nyo 1788, 1814. So 187 parang wala siya dito, no? So wala siya. 1867 meron dito, 1867, pero hindi siya 187, no? 0.187. So again, since walang value na 0.187, so you have to find the probability closest to 0.187, and that is 0.1867. So anong value yun? 0.1867 dito. So ito yon yung 0.1867. So anong value yan? That is negative 0.8. Tapos yung last is 0.89. So negative 0.89 yung value ng K natin. So ito yon, no? Yung K is negative 0.89. Okay? So pag greater than, yung gagawin lang is gagamit ka lang ng formula na ito, yung 1 minus the probability to the left, no, the area to the left. So that is again 0.9345 yung given. So ita-transpose mo lang, no? I-transpose mo lang ito. So i-swap mo lang to. So magiging positive P, ito magiging negative 0.9. So ito na yung kalalabasan niya, 1 minus 0.9345. So pag isubtract mo yan, meron siyang value na 0.0655. And using the Z table, yung 0.0655, makikita mo siya kung yung K mo is equal to negative 1.51. So again, you can use the Z table, no? So you may photocopy that one because somehow doon sa exam, magagamit natin yan, no? Or sa quiz. And recall that the standard normal table only provides area for the standard normal curve. So again, yung Z table natin is area lang doon sa standard normal curve, yung mean na 0 at saka yung variance nga 1. So how about if hindi siya standard normal? So the standard normal table can still be used even if the random variable x is hindi siya normally distributed. Yung mean niya is hindi 0 at saka yung variance niya is hindi equal to 1. So in this case, you have to convert the variable x to z using this formula. We have x minus mu divided by sigma square, where sigma is the standard deviation and it is the square root of the variance. And after this transformation, we can use the z table to find the corresponding probability. Of course, dapat yung x natin follows somehow normal distribution, no? Pero nga lang yung mean ng normal distribution niya is hindi zero, no? At saka yung variance is hindi 1. So take note of this formula. We have the x minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So example, let x be normally distributed with mean of 72 and standard deviation of 15. Find or determine the following. The z-score corresponding to x equals 72 and the probability that x is less than 72. So ano kaya yung z value ng 72? No, doon sa universe ni standard normal distribution. So ang gagawin mo lang is i-compute mo yung z using the formula. Yung x natin is 72, no? Ito yung 72. Tapos yung mean natin, sorry, yung x ito. Tapos yung mean natin is 72 pa rin divided by the standard deviation which is 15, no? So we have 72 minus 72 divided by 15. The answer is 0. And therefore, the probability that x is less than 72 is just the same as the probability that z is less than 0. And using the z table, we have 0.5, no? 50%. Kasi, di ba, doon sa 0 siya na yung center niya, no? Halimbawa, kung yung x natin is 93, so pag i-substitute na, i-convert natin yung x equals 93 to z, so gagamitin din natin yung formula na ito. So we have 93 minus 72, so 93 yung given, yung mean natin is 72, still the standard deviation is 15. So if you compute that one, and we have 1.4. So para makuha yung x greater than 93, ang gagawin lang natin is uh, kukunin natin yung probability that z is greater than 1.4. So ito, para makita natin doon sa table, z table. Okay? So after that, no, since greater than, so it is on the right of 1.4, tapos doon sa z table, yung given is sa left yung area, yung mga values niya doon. So, ang gagawin natin is gagamit tayo ng complementary na formula sa probability. So, 1 minus the area to the left, from the left. So, compute mo yan doon sa, doon sa z-table. So, we have 0.9192. So, we have 1 minus 0.9192. Meron tayong 0.0808. So, yan yung probability that the value x exceeds 93. No? Pag in between naman, so dalawang z value yung i-convert mo, x values yung i-convert mo to z. So yung 70 at saka yung 80. So for 70, meron tayong negative 0.13 na z value at saka yung 80 meron tayong 0.53 na z value. So para makuha mo yung probability in between 70 to 80. So, ang gagawin mo lang is i-compute mo yung probability in between negative 0.13 to 0.53. So, that is the probability of the large number minus the lower number. And again, using the z-table, you can have 0.7019 minus 0.4483. And the final answer will be 0.2536. Okay. So that is actually the probability that the student receives the score. By the way, kung yung ito yung score, no? So what if, no, we have here, we contextualize the problem. So a set of 100 scores in statistics examination is approximately normally distributed with mean of 74 and standard deviation of 7.9. So what is the probability that the student receives the score between 75 and 80? So again, i-convert muna natin yung 75 at 80 doon sa z values kasi yung mean natin at saka yung standard deviation natin is hindi equal to 0 and 1 respectively. So hindi siya standard normal. So i-convert natin siya to normal, no, distribution. So i-convert natin yung z equals 75, x equals 75 at saka yung x equals 80. So upon computing, we have for x equals 75, yung z value niya is 0.13. Yung x equals 80, yung z value niya is 0.76. So that means yung probability or yung area in between 70 to 80 is just the same as the probability in between 0.13 to 0.76. So again, you can use the formula in the previous slide, no, presented, and the z table. So morning corresponding z table nila, and the final result is 0.2247. And therefore, the probability that a student will receive a score between 75 and 80 is 22.47%. Okay. So another example, no, same given, pero if 50 students are randomly selected, approximately how many students will get a score of 75? So ilang estudyante ang makaka-score ng 75, no? So again, first kukunin natin yung probability ng or chance na makakuha tayo ng score na less than 75. So again, i-convert muna natin tong x equals 75 to z. So meron tayong 0.13, no? So the probability of getting a score less than 75 is 55 0.5517. And to find how many students will get a score below 75, ang gagawin mo lang is, meron naman tayong 50 students, i-multiply mo lang yung probability or proportion doon sa 50 students. So, meron tayong 27.585. And since we are asking about the number of people, wala namang decimal doon sa people. So, i-round off natin, no, yung standard rounding off. So, since 0.5 to, so that means meron tayong 28 students na that will get a score below 75. Okay? So, you can have this exercise, no? And as an ikwan lang, no, exercise doon sa notes nyo. Then, pagbalik natin sa face-to-face class next week, mag quiz tayo regarding sa mga links na binigay ko sa inyo about laws of probabilities hanggang dito sa normal distribution, no? So part of that is quiz, then lecture again, no, kasi once a week lang tayo mag-meet. So dapat sulitin natin yung oras. Okay, so that's all for today, and see you next week, everyone. Hindi siya nag-stop. Ayaw niya mag-stop. Just end